Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David, Shua Tov, L'Kulam, good Bach, and a good week to all, one and all. Okay, so we're in the middle of Likutey Halachos, Baruch Hashem, and we're in Halacha Hey in Tzitzis. We're in the middle of letter Yud Beis, we're in the middle of 12, and we're going to start with the words Aval Tzadik Shezoich L'Sakein Amadame. Okay, so let's just review for a couple of minutes. We were talking about this, the concept of the koyach hamedame and wine, yayin. Yayin has two properties to it. If you're in the right mind frame and you corrected yourself the right way, when you drink it, you can be zoicha, you can have simcha, it can bring you to good things. But unfortunately, if the person did not correct his koyach hamedame and he's thinking about all the wrong things when he drinks the wine, so then all of his foolishness comes out, right? Okay. So now, we were discussing that. We're really going to discuss a lot about wine in the next couple of lessons. Why is it that when someone drinks wine, they drink too much, they wind up throwing up? It's an interesting concept. We're going to learn about that, right?
But very appropriate, just starting another.
Yeah, that's right. And then we're going to get into Purim. In 10 more letters, we're going to be in Purim. So it's Hashem. It's unbelievable how Rav Nassim it works out. Oh, Baruch Hashem. Okay, but the tzaddik that merits to fix his medama. In other words, he's perfecting. He's using his tzitzis. He's looking at his tzitzis every time. He's understanding what's important in life. He has a tefillah b'koyach. He davens understanding it's all the Rabbeinu Shalom. He understands he's davening to Hashem. So this kind of a person, the tzaddik, is rectifying his koyach hamadam, his thought, what he thinks about all day. All that stuff in his imagination, what he's thinking about. What's he thinking about? So some people think about how much money they're going to make. Some people think about what kind of movie they're going to watch. And they're thinking about all kind of stupidity, right? Which trip they're going to go on, right? They're going to go on a chofesh, a vacation somewhere. They're thinking about these things, right? But the tzaddik is thinking more of Hashem. He's thinking, he knows his tachlis, he knows what's his purpose in life, and so on. So therefore, his medama, he thinks in that way. So the tzaddik that corrected his medama, he's always thinking in the right way. He's thinking of the last daf he learned. He's thinking of the last mishnayos. He's looking at dvar halacha. He's thinking in that way. He's fixed his medama. So he's imagining in that way. He's imagining in a way, how can I fulfill this mitzvah today? How am I going to be able to do this? He's imagining in that way, not in the other way, right? In other words, you can imagine in a positive way as well, right? I imagine I finished the shas. I imagine I can go through Tikkunei Zayah. I imagine I can do it. Well, I want to see Medrash Rabbah. I want to go through all Medrash Rabbah. I want to see all the Midrashim. Right? I can imagine these things. And then I think about how systems away. That's what we're talking about, the koyach hamedama. Okay. Azai gam hachaloim shaloi beruyim tzoitkim v'amitim. So also when he dreams, because we're making the connection, the same way we said that wine has another property. When you drink wine, you fall asleep. Right? Wine makes a person sleepy, right? So that's what we're connecting this idea of the koyach hamedama, sleep. Right, this idea of the imagination, going to sleep, and then we're talking about, since we're talking about dreams, sleep, we're talking about dreams. Dreams is also an imagination, right? It's again what you saw during the day, or maybe in the week, or whatever it is, in the last few, whatever. So that causes the person in his sleep, he dreams about those things. He's imagining those things in his dream. Amazing, right? It's based on the Gemara and Brachos. We're going to see Bechinas Chaloim Al Yedei Malach. But there's also such a thing, a concept as a Chaloim Al Yedei Malach. There's also a Chaloim Al Yedei Shade, right? There's a Malach. There's an idea that the dream can come via a demon. A demon can bring it. Unfortunately. So, I mean, that's a good idea right there to make sure you fix your koyach medama, so you don't have to deal with the demons at night that coming to you, right? It's a good reason to fix your mind. Who wants to be involved with these shadim, these demons? Who needs them, right? Who wants them? So if I could work on, again, fixing my koyach hamedama, I could stay away from all that other stuff that, okay. So you could have a dream, chaloim ha'yedei malach. It could be a malach. Ki hu zoicha l'ruach ha'kodesh. Because again, what is ruach ha'kodesh? Where did the Nevi'im get there? Most of the Nevuos, right? Chazal teaches that there's a concept of a nevuah bis plaklaria ha'meira, and there's a plaklaria shloi meira. Right, Moshe Rabbeinu's nevuah was as baklaria meira. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu he spoke to Hashem while he was awake. All the other Nevi'im got their prophecies while they were asleep. So they were not, it wasn't so clear, it wasn't so vivid to them. It's like a mirror. They use the example of a mirror. So sometimes you look in the mirror, right? It's a little foggy. So you can, sometimes the mirror gets a little fogged up, right? It's a little dirty. So you could see a little bit, but you don't see clear. And then sometimes you look inside the mirror and it's such a crystal clear, it's pristine. So that was the example of Moshe Rabbeinu when he had his prophecy. It was like a very, very clear mirror. But all of the other Nevi'im had their nevuah was as a dream that it wasn't as clear. Okay, so again, when you sleep, and you're dreaming, and the tzaddik is dreaming, he gets his dream al yedei malach, through the malach, it brings him different ideas, different things from the next world. He gets ideas in his mind, so it sets him on the right path to think further and further, and then he can perceive when he gets up, he can perceive what he dreamed about, and that's where the nevuah comes from. Bechinas ruach nevuah shemevara medama, because the whole ruach and nevuah is certainly going to clarify the medama. Right? In other words, that the person has a malach comes to him, and the malach is help, bringing him beautiful information, beautiful things. So of course that's going to help fix the medama. So it's a pattern. You work on perfecting your imagination. And then when you go to sleep, if you do it the right way, the malach comes, the malach can help you in order to perfect your imagination so you can go further and further and further. And that's why the tzaddikim, the nevi'im, when they went to sleep, they would get their nevuah and their ruach HaKodesh when they were sleeping. So Abnasan explained to us, how did it work? How did a Navi get his prophecy when he was asleep? This way. He would always think about Hashem. He was always talking about Hashem to the people. Then when he went to sleep, because he was talking about Hashem and explaining things about Hashem all day, so he thought when he went to sleep, in his mind he had that, comes the malach, via HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends whatever information he needed, and that fixes his medama. He now can perceive what he dreamt about, and he can tell over the nevuah the next morning, and he can write it down or whatever he did. That's the chaloim al yedei malach, and that's what it means. The chaloim could be through a malach, the angel that brings the proper information that Hashem wants him to prophesize, to give the nevuah over to the people, and that's how it works. Okay. So we now understand this, that the chaloim, a dream, is an aspect of nevuah. Everyone they sleep. When we sleep, right, we go to sleep the right way. So we have an aspect, because again, we said that nevuah comes from the dream. So that means if I'm having a dream, so that means it's some aspect of nevuah. There's something there of nevuah. It may be, my mirror may be very unclear. My mirror may be, they put shaving cream sometimes on the mirror, right? You can't see anything. You ever see that, right?
I've never done that.
No, but you've seen it, right? On glass. They put like a
After taking shower, everything is fogged.
everything's totally fogged. Everything's totally fogged. Amazing. Yeah. So that's, okay. Bechinas b'chaloim adaber boy. Right, he brings the Gemara in. The Gemara brings down this idea that Hashem Yisbarach will be Megal. Hakadosh Baruch Hu will reveal to the Nevi'im, and he'll speak to them during the dream of their vision. They have a dream, v'chazon. The dream for them is a vision, and that's what it means where it says, where the Gemara says, where this concept over here. Right? Does anyone have any questions on this? Anyone have any questions? No? Wow, we have a... What? Okay, fine. Okay, but if someone's not tzeicha, he doesn't merit to fix his mind, and he's not thinking in the right way, but rather he's engaged in worldly things all the time. So this person, so he has a lot of confusion and a lot of turmoil going on in his mind, in his imagination. So then sometimes these people go to sleep and their dreams are very confusing. And they have what we call nightmares, right? This is where the nightmares come from, right? Because we like we said before, there's an idea that the dream comes not via ayadei malach, but it comes via the shade, which it comes via the demon. That comes and brings the bilbul amadam. But again, the person, in other words, we have the ability to have either the dream that it could be something that'll be uplifting, that I can sense a nevuah in my dream, or if I don't choose to do that, unfortunately, so then I get attacked by the demons at night, and they'll make me think about things that are not proper, and so on and so forth. As they say, v'hamevin yavin. Okay, shu bechina zumas hanachash. That's the idea of the filter, the impurity of the nachash. The nachash used the idea also. Again, think about it. What did the nachash say to Chava? Right? You know, if you eat from this tree, why did Hashem say you can't eat from the tree? Because if you do, you'll also, because he became a god. Said the nachash, chas v'sholem, that Hashem became the god because he ate from the tree. So if you eat from the tree, you'll also become a us. And now you start thinking that way, right? I'm just giving you, right? And there was the nachash gave the chah. Oh, wow, maybe, wow, what does that mean? And then you start to think. And then the next thing you know, the thought, the idea, the imagination caused her to take the fruit and to eat the fruit. And that's why we're here today. So it goes really always back to the nachash. It's always back to him. Any kind of problems that we have in life, it's really always the Nachash's fault. He started up with us first. Okay, so wine has two problems, like we said. It has many different properties to it. Right? Wine can elevate a person, wine can knock down a person, wine can make a person sleepy, wine can make a person vomit, right? Excuse me, right? But okay. Because if someone merits to fix his medam, and he's thinking about the right things, he's careful about what he hears, he's careful about what he sees, which means it'll cause him to think in a proper way. So then the wine, when he drinks the wine, and again, like Sasha said before, it's Chodesh Adar. We're thinking about wine, Purim, right? And the whole mitzvah is to drink wine on Purim. It's not to drink hard liquor and so on, right? So we're talking about the yayin. So it's very nice that it falls in the Yana V'Yayma, right? Right, very, very nice. So again, the wine b'kedusha can be beirer hamedame, can clarify my medame. Shu b'chinas yayin amesameach. That's the wine that can bring me to joy. Because if I fix if I'm working on my imagination the right way, it's going to bring me to Amunah, because I realize it's all you, Hashem. In other words, right, if I'm thinking the right way, and I'm thinking about the Torah, and I understand my tzitzis, and I understand that I'm connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and I have a chelik elikam imal inside of me, and that's connected to the Kisei HaKavod, like we keep learning about, right? That's connected to the Kisei HaKavod. That means I'm connected to the Kisei HaKavod. So then I start to develop my emunah. I realize it's all you, Hashem. I realize that I count. Everything I do does count. Everything I do does count. There's a cute story I'll tell you. There was one guy. It's actually a true story. There was a fellow that came in to listen to the Megillah. Right, he came to listen to the Megillah, and whatever it was, they had closed the doors in the shul for whatever it was, and he came a little bit late, and he finally got them to open the door. But he opened the door when it started Bimei. Megillah starts Vayehi Bimei, but he missed the word Vayehi. He came in Bimei, and he listened to the Megillah, and it was wonderful, and he loved it. It was great. After the Megillah reading, he went to the rabbi. And he said to the rabbi, "Wow, you did such a great job. I came in when you started Bimei. So the rabbi looked at him and says, but you weren't Yotzei, you didn't fulfill your obligation to hear the Megillah. He says, what do you mean? What do you mean? I heard the whole thing. It was great. It was great. So the rabbi said, listen, I really want to give you a bigger, we just finished reading the Megillah now. It's busy here in the shul. And, we want to go eat something, right? Because it was a Purim night, right? So he says, maybe let me give you my email address. Send me an email. So he gives him the email, but he forgets to tell him about the little dot, .com or the dot, right? The dot, right? So he writes down the email without the dot. And the next day, the guy sees the rabbi in shul, and he says to him, Rabbi, I can't send you the email. I don't know what happened. It doesn't go through. He says, what happened? What's the email address you have? So he says, oh, you're missing the dot. So the guy looks at it. Well, that's why it didn't go through. Rabbi, and so the rabbi said to him, of course, my friend, you didn't hear the Megillah, you didn't hear the Vayehi, that was the dot that you were missing, so you didn't fulfill. It was very deep, right?
That's funny.
No, it's not. But no. He gave him good. It was a good analogy. It was a very purposely. It was a good analogy to drive the message home, because he thought he heard the whole thing. He missed this one thing, but it was okay. But really, we learned the halachas. You have to hear every single word in the Megillah, right? Okay, but just understand. It brings you to Amunah, okay? And again, here's a tzaddik, this rabbi, perhaps it drove that message home to the person so good, and it could have fixed his whole medama. It could have fixed him with all of that, with that little analogy that he gave him with that right? Unbelievable idea. Huh? You agree with that, right, David? Yeah. So there's Zoichin, La Nigun, and then the person, when he has a moon, he'll be Zoichin to the Nigun. What's the Nigun we said? The Nigun of Mashiach. Anytime we sing the songs and we dive into HaKadosh Baruch Hu and we sing to the Rebbeinu Shalom, the Nigun, the Olam HaNagina, right? The world of song. So that's connected to the 72, the strings of the harp of Mashiach Tzidkenu. Emetz Hashem, we'll hear that today. Emetz Hashem, Shu Bechina Simcha. That's an idea of Simcha. That's true Simcha. Because again, we'll understand, when a person understands there's a purpose for everything in my life. Everything I'm going through, everything Klal Yisrael is going through, there's a perfect purpose that brings a person to Simcha. That brings them to happy, because he realizes it's not just for naught that I'm experiencing this. It's not for nothing. It's something special. Brings him to Simcha. Okay. Bechinas Ali also Ali Novel, as we say, Ki Smachtani Hashem. Hashem will bring me great Simcha. Ki Misham Kol HaSmochos. That's where all Simcha comes from, through Amunah. When a person has true Amunah in Hashem, he stops worrying. He can enjoy life. And then when the person experiences everything in life, he realizes it's happening through Hashem. What greater joy is there than that? But if the medama, he doesn't work on fixing his mind, and he's thinking and he's looking and he's hearing and he's watching and he's all the things that he shouldn't. He's involved in the wrong thing. He's on the other side. Then the wine, of course, will cause him the bilbul amadam. It will confuse his whole mind, his whole thought process. That's what being drunk is. That's what the idea that the wine can be mishake. The wine can cause a person to be drunk. Right? Now here, look at this. This is an amazing analogy Reb Nassan's going to give us now. Shikar biki oi, right? Look at these words from the Navi Yeshaya, right? All right, what does it mean? It means that when he becomes drunk, he'll wind up vomiting up all of his stuff. I'm sorry we have to talk about these things, but that's the lesson. Okay, it's not a very pleasant thing, but watch. But it really is pleasant. You'll see in a minute. Because it's the way of drunkens, right? When they drink too much, they wind up throwing up all over the place. They just throw up. But if the wine comes If the wine is from, you drank the wine b'kedusha. Then we're going to learn a little later. We're going to learn about if you use the wine to make kiddush, you use the wine for benching, right? A kaishel bracha. You use the wine for avdallah. You use the wine for something of holiness. That'll bring it for holiness. But if a person's just sitting there to drink wine, he's a wine connoisseur. Right? And he loves to drink wine. He drinks more and more wine. So that wine is not B'Kedusha. That's not going to help him. But if the person drinks the wine B'Kedusha, so then that's an amazing thing because it's connected to the Tefillah Shebedin, Shalabal Koyach. We learned a lot about that. Azai HaSitra Achra Muchrachas Lite Nakoy. So then the Sitra Achra, the other side, that took away all of his davening. It took away all his avodas Hashem from Klal Yisrael. Because when we're not thinking the right way and we're just davening and we're not paying attention to what we're saying, and when we're learning and we're not paying attention to what we're learning, and we're doing things and we're not paying attention, so what the other side takes all of that, he steals it from us. He steals it. But when you have a tefillah b'kayach, we learned we cause the other side to have to regurgitate and give back all what he took from us, all that kedusha, all of that, and that brings you a great simcha because we said now you get this big profit. Wow, you look at your balance now. Wow, right? You had a negative balance, and next thing you know, you have billions, right? Right? You have billions, right? That's pretty good, right? Could you imagine, right? Right? So that's what's going on here in spiritual. We're talking about in not physical. Right? The person his spiritual bank account was a little negative. Right? He was overdrawn. The next thing you know is he has a tefillah b'koyach, and the next thing you know he's got billions in his account. Because all of that stuff for all of those years, he all gets it all back. Unbelievable. Azaya sitra acha muchrachas litein hakois bechinas chayil bola vayekienu. That's the pasuk that's referred to in Shmon Esrei in Tekav Sheifa Gadol, right? When you're finishing the bracha, Mekabes Nidchei Ama Yisrael, right? When you say the bracha, so you have these letters there, Chayil Bola Vayekienu, right? That's one of the shemas, and that's the shame that's responsible for giving back for people that were involved in Pagama Bris and different things like that, right? Damei ben Yavin. So that's one of the shemas that helps to bring back and to take back. Lahaki as kol hadas v'chol hakedusha shebola. To take back all of the das. What does it mean? We keep saying das. All of those situations in his life that he thought were coming because of this guy, that guy, this one, that one. It was his fault. It was her fault. It was their fault. It was this guy. So all that das was lost. He realizes now it's all Hashem. He realizes that. And all the Kedusha that he could have had, all those Shabbosim that he sat there and he was singing the songs, but he wasn't paying attention. He was doing all the things he wasn't paying attention. But he can get it all back. And that's what the most important thing is, that when we learn, we always have to keep doing things. Always keep doing things, whether or not you feel like you want to do it. So, sometimes, like we're learning at Tanya, right? Just keep learning, and keep doing what you have to do, because again, you're accumulating something. You made something, it may have to be repaired, it may have to be fixed, but it's still, you made something. It's there. If you didn't do anything at all, you don't have anything to repair, right? A person can have a car that's a nice car that has a bang in it, right?
Bless me with nothing to repair. Bless me with nothing to repair.
Oh, with nothing to repair, yeah?
Bless me with nothing to repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I bless you with nothing to repair.
Just don't bless you with nothing.
Don't bless with nothing. There we go. Right. Kamesha kosav aval kisheina yayim kedusha. But if chas v'shalom the wine is not b'kedusha, azayu ba'atzmai muchrach litein hakois. So then the person himself, something's going to happen when you drink the wine. Either you're going to be a person that was corrected your medama, and then you're causing the sitracha, the other side, the malach, you're causing him to give back, and he has to vomit out everything that he took from you. Or unfortunately, if the person's not thinking in the right way, he didn't correct his medama, so then unfortunately the person himself will wind up throwing everything up. And that's the way to tell if someone is a person that his medama is in the right track. You see it with the wine. The wine is the telltale sign. When a person becomes drunk, you see already where he is. If he starts telling you over beautiful pshatim, he tells you all about different midrashim, and so you understand that person's mind frame is always thinking about these things, and that's why it comes out when he's drunk. But if the person starts doing crazy things and he starts throwing up, so unfortunately, and that's what it is. So that's what we're learning over here. And now tomorrow we're going to learn a little bit about Noach and what happened with Noach. Why when Noach, right? Because it's your turn now, right? What happened with Noach when he drank the wine, and Noach again didn't make the rectification? We said, right? Noach didn't make the rectification. Noach wasn't able to do it, but Yaakov Avinu was able to make the rectification, like we said. And we'll learn a little bit more about how we connect this idea of the Koyach HaMedameh and the wine to Noach and his story. Everyone, thank you. Kol Tuv.